Hi, I'm Broxy, and this is the 2020 CRF450R. This year, they've made an awesome bike even better. One of the things that they really wanted to do was to help the forks to hold up better under hard braking, so you've got some new valving. But I think the most exciting part has to do with the engine. With more time and development, they've been able to focus on the ECU and just make that initial power response just a little bit smoother. But the most obvious thing that you're going to be able to see is this new torque control button. These 450s are really powerful and they can catch you out when the back wheel suddenly loses traction. The way that torque control works is to kick in when your RPM increases too suddenly, just to make it less snappy. And with this system, you can either have it turned off or you can ramp it up according to the track conditions. Along with that, you've got the different options of ECU maps and launch control. For 2020, they've also changed the pad type on the rear brake just to help it last a little bit longer. And they also got rid of the rear brake protector just to minimize that unsprung weight. So through some tweaks and clever innovation, Honda have been able to make the most powerful 450 even more usable. Over the past 2 days, we've been able to ride 2 different tracks in all sorts of conditions. There's been times where we've had massive traction. Other times, it was slippery as ice.
My first impression of the 2020 CRF450R was how much torque it had. And the second thing I noticed was how much the front end held up when I started to get my speed going.
I loved last year's bike so much. You've got that massive bottom end power, and for 2020, you've got the electronic package to make it even more usable.
At the end of the day, when it got really slippery, I was really struggling until I turned on the selectable torque controller. Immediately, I was feeling much more at home on the bike. I noticed it was easy to balance in the corners and much more traction coming out of them.
So when you engage the torque control in this bike, you're telling the computer to kick in the moment it senses too much wheel spin. What I was expecting to happen was a complete lack of power when it kicked in, but what I found was the complete opposite. The fact is, I was coming out of corners and it was wheeling. It just had so much grip. I think the 2 biggest benefits for me was the fact that I didn't have to punish the clutch too much just to keep the front wheel under control. But the other was how much acceleration I could get because it just hooked up. The main difference for 2020 in the handling is how they've stiffened up the valving. What I really noticed is how much more it holds up when you're under braking. For an MX-1 machine, this is the ultimate weapon. All the way from the handling to the power, you've just got it all.
The 450R comes with so much power with crate that I don't have to do much to my race engines. And I know that we got an awesome base with the new 2020s. So head down to your local Honda dealer and check out this awesome machine.